Hello again. Okay, another video I wanted to make real quick, just because some things happened this morning, and I feel it's necessary to address some of the thoughts that I had on it. I want to talk a little bit about treatment centers, the ups and the downs of being a part of going away for some time, and I also want to talk about the ups and downs of making amends. One of the things that I noticed when I went to treatment, and I went to treatment 2 times, is that you go into this place and you're an absolute mess, of course. You're at the lowest point of your life, and you're going in there just completely beaten down, and your self-worth is at a zero, and that's putting it mildly. As you stay in the program, those doors are not locked. You can leave at any time. Thankfully, I had a set of parents that did teach me that if you start something, you're gonna finish it. And those times that I did want to come home because I missed my children, of course, I missed my husband, I missed my home. Those times that I wanted to leave, I had a great group of people around me, my peers, therapists, techs, that would sit me down and remind me that a temporary sacrifice for a possible permanent gain is worth it. My children didn't need mommy to come home too early, not having learned enough, to just go back to her old ways, right, of doing things. And so in treatment, I stayed for quite some time, and I was very celebrated. I was very celebrated in treatment, by your therapists, the techs, your peers. Any small milestone you make, you're applauded for it. It's celebrated. You are treated as nothing short of a miracle. And it's a great feeling. It's extremely empowering. It's wonderful to be celebrated for accomplishing something that you never thought you could. However, one of the downfalls of that is that eventually you leave treatment, and you go from this positive environment where everything you do and say and any little milestone you meet is so celebrated and applauded, to coming home like I did. Some people go to sober living. Some people, unfortunately, don't have a home to go home to. I came home, and with a lot of people that do return home, you're not walking into a place filled with people that are giving you a round of applause and still celebrating any little milestone. You're walking into a room full of people that you've disappointed, that have resentments against you, that harbor a lot of hurt that you caused and you put on them. Addiction is very much a family disease. Loving an addict is gotta be one of the most difficult things anybody can ever do. Because as much as you want to save them, a person you love, from anything that is hurting them, this is one of those things that you can't save a person from. They have to save themselves. And so you go from this place that's all about positivity and celebrating all of your success, to a lot of people looking at you sideways and wondering, when are you gonna mess up? We've been through this before. You've let me down. in the past. And it's difficult. It's difficult to go from from one extreme to another. Um, and that's where I wanted to get into, kind of talking about making amends. It's a step that unfortunately a lot of addicts end up relapsing after working on, because as much as you've changed and you've done all of this work on yourself, it doesn't take away from the hurt and the memories that the people you love and want to make amends to still harbor, and still maybe haven't healed from. And as much as you want them to love and accept this new version of you, maybe you've let them down one too many times, and maybe that that acceptance and that forgiveness will not be given to you, and that's a hard thing to swallow. That's a hard thing to swallow. For me, I've tried to stray away from the I'm sorries, because I've said it too many times and it's lost its worth. So instead, I'm doing my best to show the people that I love, that I'm different and that I don't ever want to allow myself to hurt them in that way ever again. That I am no longer willing to hurt myself in that way ever again. Unfortunately, we live in a world where your words should be your bond. And with addicts, as much as our intentions are great, every time that I've said sorry, I meant it. Every time that I said, this is not going to happen again, I won't let it, I meant it. I meant it. I wasn't saying it just to say it. I care about the people in my life far too much to lie to them and set them up for more hurt, pain, and anguish. I just wouldn't do that. My intentions were always good. Like I mentioned in yesterday's video, though, addiction is powerful, is cunning and baffling, and it will trick you into believing things that are lies, but you believe them anyways. Sometimes, there are a lot of days that I woke up very strong and willing to fight any fight. I could be surrounded by my drug of choice and completely leave the room unbothered. Unfortunately, you have those days where you're not feeling so strong, and sometimes you give in to the lies that this disease convinces you of, and end up making horrible decisions and going back on your word. So your words don't remain as strong as they once were after some time, if you're anything like me. And when I tell you that the people that I've hurt are the people I hurt most, are the people I care about the most, the people that I love unconditionally, and not having their forgiveness, not having their full trust back yet is difficult. So I will do my best to continue showing them, not saying it. I'm done saying words that I've said before and have gone back on. even though I meant them with the best of intentions, you know, words aren't going to get me out of this. I have hurt, deeply hurt. Like I said, the people that I love the most in this world, and my goal is to be triumphant in eventually gaining their trust back, and eventually getting to a place where my words do mean something, because I've shown them over time um, that I'm not going to say something that I don't believe I'm capable of. And at this point, even when I'm having not so strong of a day, I am not going to live in that insanity. I'm not going to allow myself to accept that insanity. And I understand that most people's definitions of insanity is, repeating the same thing over and over and expecting different results. My definition is of insanity is repeating the same thing over and over, knowing exactly what the results are going to be, but doing it anyways. And that costed me quite a bit. It costed me the trust of family members, the love of some of my friends that I've lost along the way, the trust of my husband, and yeah, it's difficult. It's difficult, but I cannot. We cannot. And from my experience, I'm saying this only because I've done this in the past. Is I've allowed their disappointment and their unwillingness to accept my sorries and my words in the past as a form of defeat. Like, well, then why should I even try anymore? And it's so important not to allow that to deter you from your goal. And that is obviously putting your sobriety first. Because if you don't, you're just proving them right. You're just proving every doubt that they had in you, every memory they have of when you've hurt them or let them down. If you turn around and you allow yourself to feel unworthy because they haven't yet learned to trust you yet, or aren't ready yet to give you the forgiveness that you were looking for, if you turn around and you allow yourself to use over that, it's, like I said, it's just proving them right. And all you're doing is you're hurting yourself more, and you're hurting the people that love you more. So, like I said, recovery is not always easy. You're gonna run into a lot of things, a lot of challenges, especially in early recovery, that you maybe feel are beating you down in some way. I had to change my thinking on that. I had to change my thinking and understand that, if someone didn't give me the response I wanted when I made an apology or made an attempt to show them that I'm changing, or that I've changed, I don't look at that as defeat anymore. I'm not as easily insulted by it. I look at it more as a challenge. A challenge. I challenge myself to show them the next day, the next day, and the next day, and the next day, the same thing. Consistency. And that's all I got for today. Like I said, comment, make some comments and let me know what you guys would like me to touch on. I felt compelled to make this video because of some conversations that I had this morning, and you know, some of the struggles that I've dealt with in early recovery, especially, and wanting everybody to just be right on board with me, right? We want instant gratification. That's what addicts are great at. But it doesn't come that easy all the time, and a lot of times it shouldn't. It shouldn't. The amount of pain and hurt that I know I personally have put the people I love through is going to take a lot more than just I'm sorry, and it's going to take a lot more time to get to a place where we both are healed and feeling as though, you know, they can trust me again, and I'm willing to put that work in because they deserve it. They deserve it, and because they certainly didn't deserve the things that I had put them through, the lies that I told. Most of the lies that I told were not to try to lie to them or manipulate them. It was simply me lying to myself, and trying to believe my own bullshit, so that I didn't feel so bad about what I was doing. So that's all I got. Like I said, it's a beautiful day. I'm going to go hang out with the kiddos, play in the yard, and see how dirty the boys can get. And you guys have a great day, and I love you all. Keep your head up.